All right, hello, I'm Kittle. I'm actually a physical therapist here in the city. I'm the co-founder of Vinitial. It's a new iOS and Android app, and it's a private secure text messenger app between patients and providers. So I started it because I was trying to give out my contact information to some patients. For the most part, patients would either not really use my personal email or my personal cell phone number to text me because maybe they thought it was too personal. So a lot of different reasons that we decided to make it specifically for patients. And so what we did was we launched it about 2 months ago, and a little bit of rigor for the most of this year working on it, and basically trying to connect with your healthcare provider. It's not patients finding a healthcare provider for the first time. It would be someone like Dr. Ravi who would tell certain patients if he wanted to look him up and to ask any questions that he would feel comfortable with. And then if he didn't feel comfortable with, or they were outside of the scope of what he didn't want to do over this platform, he could say, you know what, this is a little too much. We would really like for you to schedule an appointment and try to get back in as soon as possible, because that is what healthcare providers are in need for the most, which is trying to get more patient visits back into the office, and then eventually searching for him as a provider in the future as a brand new patient. So a couple different examples. These are actually some of my patients that you can't see their names, but they really ask interesting questions. So I'm a physical therapist. Someone had shoulder surgery, asking, what can I do on this cruise? Like water slides and mini golf, is that okay? So things like that are not specifically medical, where I didn't feel like it would be a liability outside of a one-to-one interaction with these patients. Another patient here in the city said, hey, I told him he's got an appointment at 6:10, and he messaged me that he'll be there at 6:15-ish, and there's a delay, like always in the city. So he gave me a heads up, and then that keeps the provider happy because they're a little bit better on their schedule. So these are kind of partly light medical conversations and additional administrative or clerical issues, such as authorized visits, maybe pending MRI results, things that they don't need to be physically on site to engage with. Here's a local one with a retail pharmacy that is a private practice, so not owned by CVS or Walgreens. And I shot this pharmacist a message. What do you think about an OTC med for seasonal allergies? I have really bad allergies. So he said Allegra and gave me a little bit of description. So other pharmacists might not be either have enough time or want to engage with these type of patients, and that's fine. CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, I have colleagues in all of those large locations, and they don't have time for any of this. But if you own your own private practice, whether it's physical therapy, medical, primary care providers, or retail pharmacists, they are super engaged in this, and so we really love it and wanted to share with you guys. Local search is pretty cool. Obviously, you would search the provider's name, but if this guy, John, out of Scranton, PA, Impact Physio, he really likes that they'll be able to search a zip code later so that maybe he can have a larger funnel of new patients in the future. So we call that direct access facilitation, meaning that maybe a patient has no idea about physical therapy in the area. So maybe they need it, maybe they're not sure. Direct access in physical therapy is getting more and more popular in the future with direct access, where they could, with some insurance plans, not go to an MD and basically just call and schedule an appointment in the future. So if they're not sure where to go, we're going to build out more bios and have NPI numbers and a lot of different kind of checkpoints to make sure that this patient is finding someone credible and someone that is actually open to see new patients and schedule new patients. This is just a quick little validation. John approved that I could show this, and it's really hard. I know you guys went through a lot this weekend, and just shows one of our early checks, which we wanted to validate, obviously some payment. So they're paying basically per month or per year right now, and we went old school and said, hey, just send us some checks before we even build out payments and all of that. So just wanted to show that. I don't want to gloat, but it just helps to show where we are. So anyway, if you're still listening, there's a lot of other technical stuff that I'm not really inherently technical. So I would still love to talk to you guys afterwards. But obviously, you know, SSL you're familiar with, data rates patients might ask about. Obviously, if you're using Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Kik, any of those, obviously that's not through your regular data plan. Some patients don't understand what that means. Patients, so it's free, accessibility and convenience, that makes sense. Again, no phone numbers, so Dr. Ravi would not be giving out his cell phone number. He would say to certain patients, if he chooses to use the app. And again, direct access facilitation and what they all need at the end of the day. These practices, obviously, if they don't make money, they have to close. They can't continue to service their communities. So the return on investment is really important. And we're still working out the legal and liability issues, which are, you know, something that we have to work on continuously. So any, you know, feedback or questions and discussions would be super awesome to talk about. So again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you everyone for hosting, and I appreciate your time. Thanks, guys.
Did you eat the chap over there with a knife to 5K?